Welcome to Global News on Signature TV. I am Uchenna Chimdi Oloha. In the headlines, Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives Benjamin Kalu vows APC will win Abia with votes. Oti fires back. Igbo communities in Canada demand Nnamdi Kanu's release, cite deteriorating health. Australia and Papua New Guinea leaders sign defense alliance. And FC Bayern Munich struts their stuff at the Oktoberfest. Details in a moment.
Every second, every minute, every day, news is breaking, events occur, and there are new developments. At Signature TV, we follow these stories objectively, bringing all sides without bias, explaining the complex issues, breaking down the numbers, and investigating the issues behind the news. Anywhere and everywhere, near or far, wherever the news is, we will be there. Signature TV. News in your pocket.
Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives Benjamin Kalu has declared that the All Progressives Congress APC will rely on the ballot, not federal power, to take over Abia State in the 2027 general elections. Speaking in Umuahia on Sunday during a meeting with the Renewed Hope partners and APC stakeholders, Kalu urged party members and Abia residents to actively participate in the ongoing continuous voter registration exercise. He said voter cards, not coercion, would be the tool to effect political change in the state. Kalu criticized the Labour Party-led administration in Abia, alleging it has underperformed despite receiving significantly higher monthly FAC allocations than past administrations. According to him, former governors Theodore Oji and Okezie Ikpeazu achieved more with less, receiving 3 to 4 billion naira monthly compared to current figures. He also expressed confidence that Abia voters are ready to re-elect President Bola Tinubu in 2027, citing the president's support for state government and visible developmental strides. Kalu reaffirmed his commitment to keeping the state government accountable, declaring himself the leader of the opposition in Abia. Meanwhile, Governor Alex Oti has fired back at Deputy Speaker Benjamin Kalu, describing his recent comments as politically motivated and misleading. In a viral video, Kalu had taken a swipe at Governor Oti's 2-year performance, claiming the administration had achieved little and that infrastructure projects in the state were largely funded by the federal government under President Bola Tinubu. In a swift response, Oti, through a statement by his special advisor on media and publicity, Ferdinand Ekoma, dismissed Kalu's claims as false. He clarified that any increase in FAC allocations was due to the Naira's depreciation, not a real rise in value. Governor Oti accused Kalu of seeking political favor with the presidency, stating that President Tinubu cannot be misled by sycophancy or political posturing. The exchange signals rising political tension between two of Abia's most prominent figures as the 2027 elections loom. The Abia State Harmonized Task Force has carried out a major crackdown on street traders and those operating in unapproved structures in the commercial city of Aba, Abia State. Illegal motor parks were also sealed, while trucks obstructing the flow of traffic were impounded or towed away by the task force.
They turned everybody back to park. So this has to go now.
Areas affected include Park Road, Milverton, Opobo Junction, Obo Hill, Azikiwe Road, Osisioma Junction, Tony Mas Junction, and Ariaria Junction, amongst other roads. Traders and motorists who had encroached on public spaces and blocked drains were compelled to vacate the areas, while tables and wooden culverts constructed by the traders were either confiscated by the task force team and crushed on the spot, and others were taken into their truck. Leader of the team, Uche Nwogo, told Signature TV that the action is in line with the desire of the state government to restore sanity to Aba. He said that the traders, motorists, and illegal motor park operators were repeatedly told to vacate the places voluntarily.
I know about people normally, stubborn people, because we need to sustain whatever we're doing. If we live here, by the time we turn around, the people will come out. But when they see our determination, they will be discouraged. Because it only take us some time, we'll have another, we'll come back. Like this one now, the sun has been here for a while, and I've seen it for the first time, so it has to go. The message to our people is for them to do the right thing. Let them know the era of doing as you like has gone. Again, another message is let them not ever try to compromise our operatives. Anybody seen giving anybody money will be arrested. Both the giver and the taker will be arrested. Because once you collect money, you have lost your right to say no. So we don't want that. We don't want anybody to induce our operatives to do that. And please let them just comply. Tomorrow, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is coming to Aba. We are begging Aba people to behave. The government has done so well. The government has done well in areas of infrastructure, governance, transparency, accountability.
State Governor Similai Fubara has intensified efforts to sustain the peace recently restored in the state after over 2 years of political tension. As part of measures to consolidate the peace process, Governor Fubara met again with his predecessor and Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, Nyesom Wike, Saturday night, alongside a large group of political leaders loyal to the FCT minister. The closed-door meeting held at the Port Harcourt residence of an elder statesman, Chief Ferdinand Alabraba, till the early hours of Sunday, followed a valedictory session on Wednesday last week between the governor and members of his cabinet. During the session, Governor Fubara directed commissioners affected by the Supreme Court judgment on the political crisis to step aside, while 8 others unaffected by the ruling have since resumed official duties. The renewed engagement comes after Governor Fubara's visit to President Tinubu, where he reaffirmed his commitment to maintaining peace and sought presidential counsel on avoiding a relapse into political crisis. The FCT minister had, in a recent TV interview, restated his commitment to the peace process, noting that he had no intention of influencing the selection of new commissioners. And elsewhere in Canada, the Igbo community is calling on President Bola Tinubu to order the immediate and unconditional release of the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. The group said the call became urgent due to the reported worsening health condition of Nnamdi Kanu and the alarming state of insecurity in the southeast region. In a statement signed by the president of Ohaneze Ndi Igbo, Canada, Dr. Anisetus Nwizondo, the group expressed deep concern over Kanu's continued detention in the custody of the Department of State Services, DSS, for over 4 years, despite repeated appeals for his freedom. Nwizondo noted that the deterioration of Kanu's health has been confirmed by several medical experts, including cardiologists who have examined him during hospital visits, warning that his continued detention could endanger his life. Kanu's incarceration, he said, was as a result of his persistent advocacy against the marginalization of the Igbo people in Nigeria, and stressed that the Igbo community is not seeking confrontation, but fairness and justice within the Nigerian Federation. The group maintained that releasing Nnamdi Kanu would help restore calm and unity in the region and pave the way for sustainable peace and development. Up ahead, 1 dead, 5 arrested in Lagos cult clash. Ex-ECOWAS Court VP seeks inclusion of criminal jurisdiction in its mandate. Details of these and more after the break.
Every second, every minute, every day, news is breaking. Events occur and there are new developments. At Signature TV, we follow these stories objectively, bringing all sides without bias, explaining the complex issues, breaking down the numbers, and investigating the issues behind the news. Anywhere and everywhere, near or far, wherever the news is, we will be there. Signature TV. News in your pocket.
Nigeria joined the rest of the world to mark World Teachers' Day, celebrated every year on October 5th to honor educators for their invaluable contributions to society. In this report, correspondent Christopher Lele takes a look at the teaching profession and the men and women whose reward, as the saying goes, are in heaven.
Since its inception in 1994, World Teachers' Day has been celebrated every year on October 5th, with the aim of raising awareness on the vital role teachers play in providing quality and inclusive education worldwide. The World Teachers' Day not only celebrates their achievements, but also highlights the problems teachers encounter and the frameworks necessary to support the profession. The theme for this year is Recasting Teaching as a Collaborative Profession. The theme emphasizes the need for a shift away from perceiving teaching as an individual activity towards embracing collaboration as an integral part of the profession.
Collaboration with the teachers will help the education, teaching and learning go well. So we call teachers meeting. If there's a problem I noticed or a problem on the way, I will call the teachers. We enter into dialogue, discuss on how to move forward.
Some teachers who shared the motivating factors that made them choose the teaching profession said passion was one of their major attractions.
I don't regret anything being a teacher, because no matter they are not taking care of the teachers in Nigeria, but for me, I have a passion for teaching. It's like the teaching is inborn in me. I love teaching because the blessings of children unto us is more than whatever the government think they can pay us. God bless you. We the children used to tell us it is having an impact in our life. I'm very happy to be a teacher. I'm an inborn teacher. Even if I'm not in teaching, any place I see people, I continue teaching. So I like anything teaching.
A head teacher in one of the schools observed that unlike other professions, teachers are not well appreciated.
I think they are not, because if we should say teachers must be the first to be appreciated. A doctor will go to work and leave the child for a teacher. A trader will go to work and leave the child for a teacher. Teacher takes care of the people. They take care of the children, of everybody. We nurture children. We make children what they are. Even the president, he was once a child under a care of a teacher. So they should appreciate teachers more than any other profession in this world. Without a teacher, you won't have a doctor, you won't have an engineer, you won't have any profession. Every profession must go under a teacher.
Some pupils shared the career paths they aspire to pursue.
I want to be a nurse.
Why?
Because a nurse, like, if you travel outside country, you get more money than in this Nigeria.
I want to be a teacher because it's teacher that anything you want to be in life, if you not go to school, you cannot be like, you cannot, if you want to go to office now, if you want to work office work, it's through teacher.
I want to be a nurse in the future. Why I want to be a nurse in the future? Because they treat very well.
It is in this light that the chairman of the Enugu State Council of the Nigeria Union of Teachers, Theophilus Wike Odo, urged the Governor of Enugu State, Dr. Peter Mba, to implement the outstanding promotion of some primary and secondary school teachers in the state that is long overdue.
There are some outstanding promotions of primary and secondary school teachers. Promotions of last year, 2024, for secondary teachers has not been released. Then they are equally due for this year's promotion. Then for those in primary school, there is a outstanding promotion for this year.
Comrade Odo also appealed to the governor to exercise some patience with the teachers by training them on how to use the new technology to meet up the standard of the green smart schools.
The government has built what we call smart green schools in the state. And it's an innovation in education. It's a new thing. And it is all about use of ICT, AI to teach our children. These teachers there in the field, I have demanded to them that these teachers should be trained so they can suit into the smart schools. They should not threaten our teachers with threats of retrenchment or dropping them. Rather, you have to train them. Who did you grow up with the computer? Who did you grow up with it? But it's an innovation and we are welcoming it. But they have to be patient with the teachers, train them so that they can key into it. I know if they are given the opportunities and trained properly, I know the teachers will be able to teach effectively.
The pride of a Nigerian classroom teacher lies in fulfilling the role of the noble profession, which is shaping the future of the pupils and students. This task is, however, apparently being hampered by challenges like low salaries, poor working conditions, and a lack of resources. This notwithstanding, many teachers still find pride in contributing to the development of the nation by educating and shaping future professionals and leaders. Happy Teachers' Day to those who have chosen to remain in the profession despite all odds. Happy Teachers' Day! In Enugu, Christopher Lele, Signature TV News.
Meanwhile, Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu is calling for a renewed focus on addressing the pressing global teacher shortage. In a statement she personally signed on Sunday to mark the 2025 World Teachers' Day 2025, Tinubu described teachers as true heroes, shaping minds, nurturing dreams, and guiding generations. She acknowledged the invaluable role of teachers in nation building and the future of humanity, and paid tribute to educators across the country. Tinubu stated that as a lifelong teacher herself, she holds deep respect for the profession and those who dedicate their lives to it. According to her, the theme of this year's celebration, focusing on the global teacher shortage, is a timely reminder of the urgent need to address the dwindling number of teachers worldwide. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, has also congratulated Nigerian teachers as they join their counterparts across the globe to celebrate World Teachers' Day. In a congratulatory message issued through his Chief Press Secretary, Leke Bairewu, the Speaker commended Nigerian teachers for their unquantifiable role in shaping the lives and careers of young people in society. He stated that teachers and academics deserve public and private support to efficiently carry out their role in the lives of young Nigerians. The Speaker, who was also a teacher before joining politics, described teachers as co-parents and experts in nurturing and molding young people into educated, civilized, productive, and patriotic citizens. He called for the training, retraining, and better welfare, especially for the academic staff of educational institutions. Abbas assured that the House will use legislative instruments to enhance access to quality and affordable education for all Nigerians. Less than 2 years after it commenced 24 hours of broadcast on YouTube and other social media platforms, and barely 6 months after it launched into satellite TV platform, Signature TV has continued to make waves with its quality broadcasts. This has earned its recognition from the progressive women group Enugu State, which conferred on the station the Best Media of the Year award because of its people-oriented content. Correspondent Precious Chiagora was at the event held in Enugu.
What was meant to be just the inauguration of Progressive Women Group, Enugu State, turned into a carnival and celebration as the venue was electrified with songs and dances, reflecting their excitement at the turn of events. Among the events of the day was the formal inauguration of the group, not by a lawyer or judge, but through a special prayer and royal blessing conducted by a revered traditional ruler, Ipe Professor V.C. Ona of Edobala in Nsukka local government area of Enugu State. Then came the conferment of awards on some distinguished individuals, including Vin Martin Obiora Ilu, President and Chief Executive Officer of Signature TV, for the impact being made by the station within a short period of its existence. Ilo, who was represented by the Director of Quality Control at the station, Augustine Onunkwo, expressed appreciation to the group for the gesture.
On behalf of my principal, I assure you that in whatever way we have to disseminate the messages we have, we will continue to do that, and we shall do that faithfully. Once again, I thank you and wish you good luck in all your endeavors. Thank you.
Convener and leader of the group, Dr. Mrs. Obi Aji, said the organization, which brings together women from diverse backgrounds, including politics, business, clergy, and agriculture, is committed to the empowerment of women and promotion of good governance.
Progressive Group for Good Governance is an association, a pressure group of women across the 17 local governments of Enugu State. We gathered ourselves to discuss women affairs, even men affairs, children affairs in our respective communities. And we came up with the idea that we are going to stand for she for she, women empowerment. All our local governments, this progressive group will trickle down to the communities, irrespective of the numbers of the communities in all our local governments. We've been meeting, we've been discussing. We have so many plans, so many agendas that we want to offer to Enugu State. We've gathered to join hands to make Enugu State move forward in the name of Jesus.
A commissioner in the Local Government Service Commission, Enugu State, Amaka Nweke, urged the women to work as a united front in order to achieve something meaningful. Mrs. Nweke, who was one of the award recipients, urged citizens of the state who have not obtained their voter cards to do so, while those who have issues with theirs should get them updated as an instrument for enthroning good governance.
This is just the beginning of the good things to come to Progressive Women Group. We are going to do greater things together. We are going to work together in unity of purpose to achieve our aim at the state level, at the national level, at the global level. As we are gathered here, it's an opportunity and a call for all of us to pick our voters card. I'm an advocate for voters card registration, voters registration. So anyway, I have the opportunity of handling mic, I call on everyone to get his or her voters card.
The member for Ibuezen North constituency in the Enugu State House of Assembly, Clifford Obe, noted that most of the programs and projects being executed by the Enugu State government are targeted at women and children.
So when you come close to her, you understand how someone can be positive, how someone can run away from being negative. That she is talking about woman standing for woman today or woman supporting woman today does not mean you have to be challenging in nature. It doesn't mean that you have to react even when you are not supposed to react, especially in your families. It means you need to be objective. It means you need to contribute positively in your homes. It means you need to be attentive, you need to listen more. Because what makes a home build, what makes a home grow positively is because one person listens before reacting.
The Chief Whip of the Enugu State House of Assembly, Ejike Eze, also listed some legacy projects being executed by the Governor administration in the state, including a 5-star hotel near the International Conference Center, Enugu, and an asphalt plant in the state. Some women bared their minds on the significance of the event.
Today I'm very excited that the inauguration was successful. We saw many dignitaries and we are happy. We thank God for today.
The thing we're going to make women achieve, he say, if he bring money, he go give the woman. If they bring the clothes, then he go give that woman. And we go support them. Person where got something, go support them. Say make it go. No, now that thing now we want. School, he say he go put Pekin for school. Everything where they had for Pekin, he go give them. The person where no get to, his husband don't die, he go help her. Now we want, and we clap for him. Say make it they do and go. God will follow him in the name of Jesus.
This group is basically to impact life. They go about into communities to impact life, regardless of who you are, regardless of your profession, regardless of party affiliation.
The colorful ceremony, which brought together women from different walks of life, ended on a celebratory note, highlighting the group's commitment to women's empowerment and good governance, and honoring Signature TV for its contribution to people-centered broadcasting. In Enugu, Precious Chagoro, Signature TV News.
The Lagos State Police Command has confirmed the death of one individual and the arrest of 5 suspects following a violent confrontation between rival cult groups in the Onireke and Isashi areas of Badagry, Lagos. Police operatives responding to a distress call recovered a cache of weapons and items from the scene. These included a locally made pistol, 2 pump-action rifles, 52 live cartridges, 2 expended cartridges, a Toyota Avalon registration number KTU610JB, a laptop, several mobile phones, and other dangerous weapons. In a statement issued on Sunday, the command spokesperson Abimbola Adebisi said the suspects, aged between 28 and 43, were arrested during a swift coordinated operation that helped contain the violence and restore calm to the affected communities. She added that tactical units and detectives were deployed immediately, rescuing 3 injured victims who were rushed to a nearby hospital for urgent medical care. The police spokesperson further revealed that the 5 suspects currently in custody are believed to be directly involved in the attack. They will face prosecution once investigations are concluded. Efforts are ongoing to track down other fleeing cult members, while police patrols and surveillance have been intensified in the area to prevent any retaliatory attacks. The Lagos State Commissioner of Police, Olohundare Jimo, commended the officers for their professionalism and swift response. He reaffirmed the command's commitment to eradicating cultism and violent crime in the state. A former vice president of the ECOWAS Court, Professor Friday Nwoke, has called for the inclusion of criminal jurisdiction in the court's mandate to enable it handle criminal cases. Nwoke, who is a professor of international law at the University of Jos, made the call during the ECOWAS Court's 2025-2026 legal year celebration held in Abuja, with the theme, ECOWAS Court and International Law, Expanding Access and Navigating Contemporary Challenges. Nwoke, who was the keynote speaker, also enjoined ECOWAS political authorities to ensure the enforcement of the ECOWAS court judgments in all member states.
Access to justice is one of the fundamental human rights that the United Nations has emphasized, because you cannot establish a court without granting access to persons to be able to navigate their rights. But it appears that it's only in the area of human rights that community citizens has been given access to the court. And that is why it becomes imperative that in other areas, including especially the interpretation of the protocols, establishing the interpretation of the protocols of ECOWAS, that it appears that it is time also to give individual citizens the capacity to determine, especially where their rights are indirectly violated, to be able to approach the courts equally, since the member states who have the priority of approaching the courts in that regard has failed to do so, perhaps for one reason or the other. If you look at the supplementary protocol, for example, on the sanctions that the community can impose on defaulting states, only states are given access to the court for purposes of pursuing sanctions against member states that has violated the laws of the community. But I think that this is too restrictive, since essentially since 1979, this community has emphasized ECOWAS of citizens and not ECOWAS of states, because the major beneficiaries of the trajectory of integration are community citizens and not necessarily member states who represent them.
Jigawa State Primary Healthcare Development Agency is targeting the vaccination of over 3 million children against measles and rubella across the state. This was stated by the state immunization officer, Shehu Ibrahim, during a media dialogue and sensitization for the upcoming integrated vaccination campaign in the state, scheduled to commence on 6th October to 15th, 2025. He said the integrated exercise targeted 48 to 49% population, covering children between 9 months to 14. The SIO said the exercise will be conducted at all the primary and secondary health facilities, public buildings across the 288 wards and 27 local government areas of the state. He warned parents against non-compliance and to make sure they take their children to the centers for the immunization. Still to come, Iranians expressed doubt over currency changes' impact on national inflation. Journalist Mario Guevara reunites with sons after deportation to El Salvador. Do stay with us.
Every second, every minute, every day, news is breaking. Events occur and there are new developments. At Signature TV, we follow these stories objectively, bringing all sides without bias, explaining the complex issues, breaking down the numbers, and investigating the issues behind the news. Anywhere and everywhere, near or far, wherever the news is, we will be there. Signature TV. News in your pocket.
Australia has signed a new defense agreement with Papua New Guinea on Monday, its first in more than 70 years, as Canberra seeks to block China from expanding its security presence in the Pacific. Under the Puk Puk Defense Treaty, which is the first signed by the Papua New Guinea, Australia and its northern neighbor are obliged to come to each other's aid if attacked. The treaty allows as many as 10,000 Papua New Guineans to serve with the Australian Defence Force under dual arrangements. Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese said during a joint press conference with his Papua New Guinea counterpart, James Marape, in Canberra, that both nations have agreed not to undertake any activities or enter into any agreement that would compromise the implementation of this treaty.
Today, with the signing of the Puk Treaty, the Papua New Guinea Australia Mutual Defence Treaty, we commit ourselves to securing and shaping our future together. This treaty contains a mutual defence obligation similar to Australia's ANZUS treaty commitments, where we declare that in the event of an armed attack on either of our countries, we would both act to meet the common danger. Both our nations have also agreed not to undertake any activities or enter into any agreements that would compromise the implementation of this treaty. The treaty also reaffirms both countries' absolute respect for our neighbours' sovereignty, independence and territorial integrity.
It is a landmark for our two nations. This treaty was not conceived out of geopolitics or any other reason, but out of geography, history, and the enduring reality of our shared neighborhood. Again, as I said, this has nothing whatsoever to do with geopolitics. Australia still maintains their relations with China and other nations. We still maintain a relation with China and other nations. The specific where each foreign relations are maintained. In the context of security treaty, we have this exclusivity.
Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker said on Sunday that President Donald Trump was ordering 400 members of the Texas National Guard for deployments to Illinois, Oregon, and other locations within the United States. In a social media post, Pritzker called on Texas Governor Greg Abbott to immediately withdraw any support for this decision and refuse to coordinate. National Guard troops are state-based militia forces that answer to their governors except when called into federal service. National Guard troops have been deployed to police, Los Angeles, and Washington, D.C., and Trump has said he would send troops to several other cities regardless of objections from local government officials. Iran has gained parliamentary approval for a monetary overhaul to remove 4 zeros from its national currency over the next few years to simplify transactions after years of inflation. Years of inflation above 35% have caused Iran's currency to plunge to 1,150,000 reals to the dollar on the free market, currency tracker bombast.com shows, making it difficult for people to make sense of bills or financial statements. The approval was reported by state media on Sunday after Parliament had resolved objections from the Guardian Council to pass a bill that had been in the works for several years. The move will make the real easier to use in transactions and calculations, Hussein said, adding that high inflation had severely diminished the usefulness of banknotes. The move remains contentious. However, several countries have sought to drop zeros from their national currency when faced with high inflation. Venezuela has had several monetary overhauls in recent years, but continues to suffer from high inflation. France's new Prime Minister, Sébastien Lecornu, resigned on Monday, just hours after appointing his new cabinet, after allies and foes alike threatened to topple his government. His resignation was unexpected and unprecedented, and marks another major deepening of France's political crisis. French stocks dropped sharply, as did the euro, on news of the resignation. After weeks of consultations with political parties across the board, Lecornu, a close ally of President Emmanuel Macron, on Sunday appointed his ministers, and the cabinet had been set to hold its first meeting on Monday afternoon. But the new cabinet lineup had angered opponents and allies alike, who either found it too right-wing or not enough, raising questions on how long it could last at a time when France is already mired deep in political crisis, with no group holding a majority in a fragmented parliament. French politics has become increasingly unstable since Macron's re-election in 2022, for want of any party or grouping holding a parliamentary majority. Macron's decision to call a snap parliamentary election last year deepened the crisis by producing an even more fragmented parliament. Le Cornu, who was only appointed last month, was Macron's 5th prime minister in 2 years. Salvadoran journalist Mario Guevara, recently deported from the United States, reunited with his sons on Sunday at El Salvador's Montserrat Romero International Airport after months of separation. Guevara and other relatives embraced his sons, Oscar and Jonathan, as they arrived in the country. The emotional reunion marked the first time they had been together since Guevara's deportation. Salvadoran journalist Mario Guevara, known for his live coverage of U.S. immigration raids, was deported by the U.S. authorities to El Salvador on Friday, following more than 3 months in federal custody. Guevara was arrested during a No Kings protest in Atlanta and subsequently had his work permit revoked before being forcibly removed from the country, despite fighting his case through the immigration system. Guevara told Reuters he plans to resume his journalism work in El Salvador.
It would be ideal for him to be with us, so the family could be one. But I'm glad that he's alive in the first place, and to me, that's all that matters.
My challenge now is first to keep my family united despite the distance. Second, to work hard, build my news channel here in El Salvador and internationally, to cover stories of human cases that need to be exposed. That is my next step in the short and medium term.
His case has drawn attention to challenges faced by immigrant journalists in the U.S. amid ongoing debates over press freedom and immigration enforcement policies. Smoke was seen rising over Gaza early on Monday as Hamas officials were in Egypt ahead of talks with Israel that the U.S. hopes will lead to a halt in fighting and the freeing of hostages in Gaza. Israeli negotiators were also due to travel to Egypt's Red Sea resort of Sharm el-Sheikh later in the day for talks about freeing hostages, part of U.S. President Donald Trump's plan to end the war. The first phase deals with the release of hostages in exchange for Palestinian prisoners. There are 48 remaining hostages in Gaza, 20 of whom are alive. Trump has promoted a 20-point plan aimed at ending the fighting in Gaza, securing the release of remaining hostages, and defining the territory's future. Israel and Hamas have agreed to part of the plan. Malaysia and Pakistan expressed cautious support for U.S. President Donald Trump's 20-point plan for Gaza during their meeting on Monday. Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar said during a joint statement with his Pakistani counterpart, Shehbaz Sharif, who is on a 3-day working visit to Malaysia. Sharif, the previous week, had welcomed Trump's plan.
Jointly, of course, look favorably at the 20-point peace initiative by President Donald Trump. Although Malaysia do express some concerns, but at least on the point of cessation of hostilities, stop the insane bombings and killings by the Zionist Israeli regime on Gaza in particular.
Publicly known that Pakistan wants to join hands with Malaysia, not only to benefit from your experience, but have joint ventures, mutually beneficial projects.
Up next is entertainment news.
After 10 weeks of 29 housemates supplying viewers with unlimited drama, fun, controversies, emotions, evictions, and disqualification, Emesi was declared the winner of the 10th season of the Big Brother Naija reality show. Considered one of the strongest contenders of the Big Brother Naija 10/10 edition, Emesi's win is a testament to her popularity among viewers who were endeared to her relatable personality. As the winner of the 10th season of Big Brother Naija, Imisi will be going home with a whopping 150 million naira, among other prizes she won during her 10 weeks in the Big Brother house. Opeyemi Ayonwale Imisioluwa, the 23-year-old fashion designer and actress from Oyo State, made a name for herself on the show as a housemate who thrives on challenges, seeks excitement, and embraces every opportunity to show her depth. Imisi stole the hearts of millions with her unfiltered charm, radiant energy, and that unmistakable real girl appeal that glued fans to their screens. Even when critics mocked her SAPA strategy and street-smart antics, Imisi turned the table with laughter, light, and pure charisma. She proved that simplicity is indeed the ultimate sophistication. Now 150 million naira richer, the people's champ is ready to take her good vibes global with big plans in comedy, brand endorsements, and content creation. Imisi becomes the fourth woman to win the popular reality show. Fans will be expecting her to go on to pursue her dreams of being a famous fashion designer and screen star. Former Big Brother Naija winner Mercy Eke has claimed that her triumph at the fourth edition of the reality show was for all young women. In a recent interview with Bella Naija, Eke insinuated that her victory boosted the morale of women when it comes to reality shows. She also revealed that she was confident that she was going to be successful on the show. Mercy Eke made history in 2019 as the first female winner of the Big Brother Naija reality show. Since her record-breaking win, two other women have won the show, Fina in 2022 and Ilebaye in 2023. Italian fashion house Valentino's Spring-Summer 2026 collection presentation at the Paris Fashion Week on Sunday attracted some mega stars from the music and movie industries. Large crowds awaited hours outside the Arab World Institute, a cultural center serving as a fashion show's venue, to catch a glimpse of the celebrities attending the runway events. Their patience was rewarded with the appearance of a host of A-listers, including singer Lana Del Rey, Subin of Tomorrow X Today, and Ray and Liz of Ivy. Actors Coleman Domingo, Megan Faye, and Joseph King, as well as Thai star Jeff Sato and friend Saruja. The stars briefly posed for photos and greeted fans before entering the venue to see designer Alexandra Michelle's vision next spring and summer. Former Gucci designer Michelle was appointed Valentino's creative director in March 2024. And that's the entertainment news. I am Queenette Wokonta for Signature TV News.
That's the news this hour. I am Uchenna Chimdi Oluoha. Thanks for watching.